to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from here, and this has been like a therapy session.
Razabani for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. With me, delighted to have here in Paris, France, legendary trainer Virgil Hunter. Firstly, Virgil, how are we doing? How's your health?
Everything's fine. I'm doing well.
It's good to see and good to hear. Obviously here for your charge, Tony Yoka, back in the ring after almost close to a year or just over a year out after that loss to Martin Bakole. How's Tony been since that loss?
Has it been that long? I don't really remember. Tony's fine. He came to camp with a renewed vigor, and we had a great camp, and I look forward to him performing admirably tomorrow night.
Virgil, you know, a lot of people have spoken about Tony and his talents for many, many, many years. Are we yet to see the best of Tony?
Well, he's still in the transition coming out of the amateur. You know, when you fight amateur year in and year out like he has, it takes a while to make the transition, and he's slowly making the professional transition, and I look forward to him being a very good professional as the time goes by.
We know Carlos Takam has been in the ring with the likes of Derek Chisoras and the Anthony Joshuas, but is he still a threat? Is he still a threat in the heavyweight division?
Well, you can see how good a shape he looked in the weigh-in, and he's always a threat. You never lose the punch, you never lose the experience. He's got a lot of experience. He's been in with some of the best, so he's a formidable foe.
What are you looking to see in Tony? What are you really going to keep your eye on?
I'm looking for him to perform and utilize his IQ. His IQ is still developing, and to understand the sport and to perform admirably.
In terms of the future, I know your focus is tomorrow night, but surely there's a future beyond tomorrow night as well, and that's probably going through your head, because the heavyweight division, as always, is a thriving division, especially in the UK. Where do you see him? How far away is he from challenging those top 5, top 6 heavyweights?
Well, it's hard to say right now, coming off a loss. It depends on how he performs tomorrow night under the lights. That tells me a lot. And he has another fight scheduled June 6th, so I expect him to make a pretty good step up after June.
Well, we wish Tony all the best tomorrow night. Virgil, if you don't mind, I may ask you some other questions related to boxing. Obviously, Joshua Buatsi's in town as well. A bit of a stop-start career for Joshua, would you say?
I'm sorry, what?
A bit of a stop-start for Joshua Buatsi in terms of his career?
Well, I don't get involved in that. I just come when he's ready to fight. I'm ready to prepare him for the fight and everything like that. I just got Joshua 2 fights ago, so I don't know much about his past career. But I expect him to be in the mix. He's got a great ranking, so at some point you can't ignore him if he continues to win. So I think he's in a good spot ranking-wise. So boxing is funny, you know. Some people can continue on in a flow, and some people have a little hiccup along the way. But I think that he was in contract negotiations or whatever, so that kind of held him up from being back in the ring as soon as we would like him. But it's going to be very soon he'll be back.
I saw some comments where you said that Joshua Buatsi isn't yet ready to fight Dimitri Bivol. If you could confirm that those comments are true.
I didn't say that. I was misquoted. I said he needed 2 more fights. I didn't say he wasn't ready. I was misquoted as usual. That's why I don't do press conferences much, because people are always looking for a hit and a clout. So I was misquoted. I said he needed 2 more fights. I didn't say he wasn't ready.
Obviously, Eddie Hearn is pushing the Bivol fight for Joshua Buatsi. I know in the past where Amir Khan, where I know you wasn't too fond of him taking that Canelo fight, but he made that decision that he wanted that fight. There was a lot of money on the table. If Joshua Buatsi said to you that I want to fight Dimitri Bivol next, would you allow him?
Well, I don't know if we'll have that conversation, but you know, at some point I expect him to get a title shot.
How highly do you rate Joshua Buatsi?
I rate him as an up-and-coming fighter, somebody to be reckoned with as time goes by, as he continues his development.
Virgil, you've been in the sport for many, many decades. I won't count exactly how many, but many decades. boxing changes, boxing's evolving. We're seeing a lot of fighters that don't want to fight each other. The best don't want to fight. We've seen Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. We saw Pacquiao, Mayweather way too late. Right now we're going through a phase where we want to see Usyk, Fury. We want to see who the best heavyweight is. We want to see, can we have another undisputed champion? It doesn't look like it's going to happen. What is wrong with boxing?
Well, money's always the number one factor. It's just simple, money and promoters. Money and promoters. You can't put it on the fighters. Fighters will fight each other. It always comes down to money and the promoters. So if the money's there, the fight will be there. If the promoter's in agreement, the fight will take place.
Anthony Joshua returns back in a couple of weeks as well against Jermaine Franklin after his back-to-back losses to Alexander Usyk. I know he came out to yourselves a little while ago and went around America and looked at other trainers. He went from Robert McCracken to Robert Garcia and now Derek James. How healthy is that?
Well, he's trying to find his way, so you have to give him that space to find his way and where he feels comfortable. If you're on the rebound, you rebound everything. If you're on the comeback, you come back with different circumstances, different situations. He's in good hands with Derek, and I expect him to perform. He seems to be hungry. He understands what he has to do, and Derek is a no-nonsense coach, so I'm sure he'll have him well prepared.
Virgil, some coaches in the UK said that Anthony Joshua may have just already peaked. He may be past his best. Would you align those words or would you disagree?
Well, physically, he still has the attributes. He just has to bring his mental capacities into it and connect both of them right now. I think earlier in his career, because he didn't have so many amateur fights and experience, his physicality was his gift. But now he understands he's got to bring his mental capacities into the fold. So if he can connect the mental with the physical, he still will be a force.
I spoke about how some fights don't happen when they should happen. But one fight that is going to be happening is a man you probably studied in Gervonta Davis when Mario Barrios fought him, takes on Ryan Garcia. That must be refreshing to see, though, where you've got two rival promoters, two rival networks, and two fighters with big egos and different crowds and their own demands coming together to make this mega fight.
A great fight. It's a fight that everybody should see. Right now, I'm not picking a winner, but it depends on how the fight goes in the first 3 or 4 rounds. That'll determine, I think, the winner. But it's a great fight for boxing.
Some big news going around the UK over the last couple of months. Virgil is Conor Benn, someone that was on the rise and has had a backward step because of a failed drug test. I'm sure you've read stuff and you've seen stuff, and just want to get your thoughts on everything. We've got the board and the fighter not agreeing to things, and the promoter getting involved, and WBC are clearing him, and it just seems like a mess. And how do you see the overall picture?
Well, only Conor Benn knows the truth, and I'll just leave it at that. I won't comment on it any further. It's a deep situation, but only he knows the truth between him and God. So that's all that matters, and nothing else further to say on the situation.
Fair enough, Virgil. Thank you for a few moments of your precious time. We wish you continued health as well and success tomorrow night, and I'm sure we'll speak to you maybe after the fight.
Thank you very much.
Virgil Hanna for IFL TV. Thank you very much.